Okay, we are live, and I'm pointing this camera in the wrong direction. Let's see here. All right. Oops, I should probably turn my light on too, so that's all good to go. Oh, I'm very unprepared. We good now? All right, we are good. So zoom this in a little, huh? How does that work? That still doesn't look good. Oh, I'm so unprepared. Well, you know, it's typical of this show, I guess, right? That doesn't look good at all. Well, whatever. I gotta figure this out. Okay, I guess I'll just stand somewhere around here. So, I was on my friend's podcast. Is this really live? This is crazy. Oh my god, I already got people watching. This is insane. So I was on my friend's podcast last night. They do this podcast called Who Are We to Podcast, and I was on there basically talking about Noctilucant and dark ambient music in general, as well as just getting drunk and getting completely off topic. And it inspired me just to try doing this live stream on YouTube, and I did a test about an hour ago, and it seemed really easy. And so basically the idea for the future is I'm gonna have friends come over, and we're gonna do this thing called dark ambient reactions, where I basically have people who don't really know much about dark ambient music listen to dark ambient music and give me their reactions. Of course, we'll be drinking and doing shit like that. So it'll be fun. It'll be probably more hilarious and all that kind of stuff. I should close this window too. This is working very well. So yeah. So that's what we got going. I gotta move this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Fuck that window. Fuck that window completely. All right, there we go. Much better. So that's what we're gonna do. Since I'm completely impatient and I just sometimes have to do things impulsively, I decided to just try this live thing right here, right now, and just do a live version of the Inner Sanctum where I talk about albums. So this is gonna be really ADHD and just totally all over the place, and I'm just bumbling around, and it's 11:30 in the morning and I'm already drinking. Probably isn't good either. But I need beer to take the edge off, and this is why I edit videos usually to kind of from all this stuttering and nonsense. And just one moment, I want to see if on this YouTube comments are popping up or something works. Good. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I can see myself, I think. Oh my god. Say something. Okay, so there's like a 5-second delay. That's kind of cool. So I'm gonna, just kind of bumble around here, and until someone starts saying something, I'm just gonna, Oh, cool! It posted on there. All right, so I see how this works now. So someone posts a question, I'll see it, and then I can just look closely and, kind of. Okay, that's not good. That's coming up there too. Turn the sound off over there. All right, so if you got a question, if you wanna say whatever, wanna say this is cool or this is stupid, you can say whatever you want. I don't really care, so we're just gonna kind of go with it, and do his thing. Let me know if you guys can hear the music in the background too, because I just have this playing in the CDs playing on my stereo in the background. So if it's too loud, let me know, or if it needs to be louder to hear a little bit more proper, let me know. Also, if I'm probably talking loud enough, you probably hear that fine, but if any sort of audio stuff doesn't seem right, let me know, and I'll try to adjust it as best as possible. Anyway. Well, what you're listening to right now is from a project called Nostalgia. And Nostalgia was a project by this guy named Mark Hunter, who was from somewhere, I think, in Northern California. I got to know this project back, I guess it was like probably mid-2005. He sent me this CD called The Aesthetics of Death for a review on my zine called Hypnosis. And for a very short period of time, about a year and a half, this project really seemed like it was going to be a big deal in the dark ambient scene. And then kind of suddenly he just disappeared. And the reason why I said it was going to be kind of a big deal is because I really liked what he was doing. It was all independent release, but it was well mastered, sounded really good, just really good content. And from like 2000, I think it was maybe like beginning of 2005 to like the mid 2006, he released 4 releases. This, I believe, is technically a demo, but it is like 45 minutes long, so I kind of see it as his first full-length album, at any rate. But whatever, you know, you can call it whatever you want. It's you know, it's close to a full-length album. So anyway, this was his second release. The first one was, I would say a little more. Well, there's a question. I'll have to ask you sometime about independently doing CD releases. Okay, we'll talk about that anymore. We'll definitely cover that, or maybe if I can shut up for a little while, I can talk about that in a little while. So, so yeah, so you know, I hope this, you know, on my computer, this is really grainy and out of focus. So hopefully on your guys' screen, it is clearer, at least as clear as I see myself on the camera. Let me know if I look clear on there, though. Give me a thumbs up, or just say this looks, the video quality is mostly decent. Anyone? Yeah, so we'll give it a minute. That's okay, I have beer to drink, and yeah. On a side note, hey, Kit Traverse, what's up, Kit Traverse? So Kit Traverse does, it's super blurry. Fucking A. Well, god damn it. I don't know. So, I don't know how to fix it. Maybe you guys gotta configure some shit on YouTube. I don't know. On my side, the video quality is heavily compressed, but I'm mostly concerned about sound. Okay, well, so when I did the test video, it was super blurry at first too, so maybe after this is, you know, it's like, looks blurry as it was 140 pp or worse. Yeah, that's how it looks on my monitor over here too. So, maybe it will just, after this whole thing is done, you can, let me see, what does that button do? Pop, beam, those are just effects. Okay, let's not do that. What does that button do? Chat, okay, so we got chat on, that's good. What does this do? Mute microphone? No, we definitely don't want to do that. Okay. I don't know. Well, I think once everything's said and done, it will defragmentize it and all that kind of shit, and it'll look better. I hope so anyway. If not, I really apologize that it looks like shit. Because when I look at it on my camera, it looks super clear, but then, like, I think like you guys have seen on the monitor, it's really crappy. So I don't know, maybe you just gotta like pause it or something and let it catch up or something. I don't know, like just pause it for like a little while. What one said they here? Because I'm probably not that interested to look at anyway, really. I don't know, whatever, maybe I am. So since we're getting derailed here, just wanted to let you guys know what I am drinking. This is the Elliot Ness Amber Lager made by Great Lakes Brewing Company. Why is that backwards? Oh, that's weird. Well, whatever. And Cleveland, Ohio. I thought it was from Michigan. Okay, so it's from Cleveland, Ohio, and yeah, it's 11:30 in the morning. I'm drinking. I drank a lot of beer last night. I probably woke up still drunk, but whatever, it's fine. Anyway, any more questions? No, I guess not. So anyway, I was saying, this is the project we're listening to right now. It's called Nostalgia. It was a project from this guy named Mark Hunter. Ha ha ha, alright. It was this project from this guy named Mark Hunter, and from 2005 to 2006, he made a pretty big impact on me and several other people in the dark ambient scene, I think, because he got these CDs out to a lot of zines, and back in those days, zines actually reviewed the shit you sent them. Unlike today, it seems like you have to basically like put reviewers in like a headlock to get them to review your stuff. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like the way it is nowadays. I don't know. So I don't even really give a fuck about getting reviews for my music anymore, because it's too much of a struggle. Back in the day, back in 2005, zines actually reviewed music, and it was cool. And I was one of those people reviewing music. I loved doing it. It was a really big passion of mine. And I reviewed this album in 2005. And the music Mark Hunter made was sort of this melancholy, dark ambient, probably influenced by Rosin Dmitri and other cold mid-industry bands. And it had a lot of like film samples and stuff like that. Like the first song has a sample from The Matrix, and I don't know where the hell some of the other ones are. I'd have to listen a little closely to figure that out again. But it has a lot of film samples and stuff like that, and that was a big thing. I remember I did an interview with Mark, and he told me that, you know, cinema was a huge influence on his music, and just, you know, him in general as a person. It was a big influence on him. So yeah, that's what he had going in there. He combined it with his bleak, really dreary, dark ambient music, and he was also, well, he probably still is. He's still playing the black metal bands nowadays. But, you know, it really bothers me that my Abigor t-shirt, the sweater is backwards here. I really don't like that. But whatever. I guess that's how this has to be that way or something. I don't know. Anyway. So Mark Hunter was a black metal guy. In fact, if you look at the picture in the booklet, you can see he's wearing corpse paint. And again, the text is backwards here, which is very annoying. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out with these live streams, is why this is backwards. But whatever. Maybe I'll, you know, do a more proper review of this stuff later on. I don't know. If not, well, whatever. So he's a black metal dude. This guy, I remember he had involvement in like Zasher, Chaos Moon, and some other black metal projects too. A little more, you know, unknown, forgotten ones. But he was doing that when he started doing this dark ambient stuff, and yeah. So it kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say it necessarily has that sort of like, I don't know if a lot of you guys would know what I'm talking about, like, but like a lot of black metal musicians, when they do side projects, especially ambient side projects, it sounds remarkably similar to like those god-awful fucking Burzum albums in the late 90s, or Mortis, but it never sounded as good as Mortis, because nothing sounds as good as Mortis when people try to do that style. Even nowadays, when people try to do Mortis, it still sounds like a fucking second-rate, you know, rip-off kind of shit. So that's usually what you get from a lot of black metal dudes doing side projects, but this definitely didn't have it. It was more pro sounding. It really sounded like this guy had really done his homework and was a big fan of cold meat industry stuff and all that kind of stuff. You know, all those artists. He was obviously very passionate, knew how to compose that kind of music. So the first two records, I should have pulled these out already, but I didn't. So his first record was called Funeral Rituals, and this one was a little more like kind of, I guess, melodic, ambient, and the production wasn't nearly as good, but it was still a good debut. And I think this one is actually considered his demo release, whereas this is, well, I think it's considered demo 2, but you know, this is a proper demo, and this was a little bit short. I think this was like 30 minutes. So anyway, this is his first album, Funerals. This one was a little more lo-fi, a little more melodic, not as dark sounding, still a decent release. And as time would go by, and like I said, he only released 4 releases within like a year-and-a-half time period. He kind of changed his music to more, I guess, more to like a sort of industrial ambient kind of sound that was more influenced by like, probably like stuff like Brighter Death Now, and like Nordvarger kind of shit. A lot more, you know, more industrial sounding stuff. And that sort of started with this split release he did with a project from England called Cerberus. I wonder how many bands are called Cerberus. But yeah, that's when he first kind of started doing the more industrial ambient sound, was on this record. And the Cerberus, whoever it is, was just a very basic, straightforward dark ambient project. Not bad, but you know, I don't know if the Cerberus even made anything more than this split, so I don't know. And then the final release from Nostalgia was called Infestation. And this is where he really kind of came in. Oh, we have a question. Oh, what's it say? So, second black metal artist of the day today I heard that moved into dark ambient. It kind of makes sense as black metal bands often have ambient intro checks. Yes, very much, it does make sense. And that's the really cool thing about dark ambient music, is that it's only kind of recently been like really defined as a genre, but it's always kind of been there, kind of in the background. It's just kind of hanging out and doing its own thing. And obviously, like, black metal bands have had like dark ambient intros since, you know, going back to like the early 90s. With like a lot of the Norwegian black metal, they all had like dark ambient style intros or mid-tros or whatever, outros, you know. And if you could trace dark ambient music back even further than that. You could trace dark ambient music back to like the late 70s when like Throbbing Gristle was doing their like experimental shit. There was definitely some dark ambient characteristics in their music, and you know, you can't forget like Tangerine Dream. Their early stuff had a lot of dark ambient characteristics in it, and I think maybe the first, I mean, Tangerine Dream was probably the first band to really do the dark ambient thing, and that was like 1972 when I think their album called Zeet was probably the first one that really kind of showed off a dark ambient sound. And then I think it was the same year, maybe the year before, Pink Floyd had an album called Metal, and there's a song on there called Echoes, and there's a, I mean, it's like a 23-minute song, and there's a part in there where it's just full-on synthesizer and just goes into this really bleak, totally dark ambient thing. So, I mean, dark ambient's a thing that's been around for a really freaking long time, and, you know, it's weird that it's just kind of, you know, in recent years, I think, you know, thanks to the Cryo Chamber label just finally being defined as a genre, whereas it's always been this, like, thing, like, off to the side, and always been, like, a sub-genre of, like, industrial music, or a sub-genre of, you know, black metal or whatever. So, yeah. What the hell was I saying before that question? I don't know. So, I think I was talking about this still. So, Infestation was when Mark took his music in more noisy, ambient kind of direction. This stuff is really fucking good, too. I mean, it was a little more abrasive, so it wasn't something you could, like, chill out with, like, kind of like, well, this earlier stuff I'm listening to here is definitely more chill. But, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it's cool stuff, and, these records, all of them, go on, not eBay. They're all available on, like, Discogs for, like, $2-3 each, and a lot of them are in the United States, because Marco's from the United States, and these are probably people that, like, he got sent to promos for, you know, years ago, people trying to sell them or whatever. Which is too bad, because it is really solid dark ambient music in my opinion, and I don't know, I love this stuff, and I used to talk to Mark a lot, and well, not a lot, but you know, this was like back in the MySpace days and shit like that, so we talked and stuff like that, you know, and he always seemed like a really cool guy. I like some of the black metal bands he played in and stuff like that, so yeah, I mean, if you feel like you want to check these out, I believe I've uploaded every single one of these to this channel already. It's the full-length albums, so you can definitely check them out if you want. And like I said, super cheap if you want to pick them up on Discogs, $3-4 each, and definitely worth it. Nostalgia was a really cool project, and I don't actually know why the project came to its end. I think possibly it was just because Mark had gotten too involved with his black metal projects, and he didn't have time to do a solo project anymore. I'm not really sure. But the last thing from this project, and it came on like 2012, it was just a digital compilation of like unreleased tracks, and that was like super industrial, like it was really industrial, like death industrial kind of stuff. And that was really fucking cool stuff too, and I believe that was called like Abattoir, For the People, By the People, or something like that. I don't know, it's probably somewhere out there. I think he had a blog to post nostalgia stuff that I think he, at that point in time, was thinking about bringing the project back, but then maybe he just lost motivation again or something. I don't really know. But super cool project, Nostalgia, and I don't know if I have anything else to say about that right now. I don't know. So I'm gonna drink. If anyone's got any questions about Nostalgia or dark ambient in general, we can talk about that too, I guess. Or if you want to talk about beer, we can do that. I don't know. If any event you hear like some strange whimpering going on, it's just this dog sitting here in this beanbag chair. She's passed the fuck out, but if she starts, you know, going crazy, I may have to walk away from this live stream for a minute. But she looks pretty sleepy, so that's good. So, anyway, well, that's Nostalgia, anyway. So, we got, how many people we got listening here? Speaking of dungeon sins, do you like projects like Old Tower? That is a goddamn good question. I think I bought I don't know if it was Old Tower or something. I don't know, man. The album was called Stellary Wisdom. Is that Old Tower? I can't remember, because I thought there was like two really popular dungeon synth projects going right now. They had Old and then something. Like Old Wizard or Old, I don't know. I don't know. So, who said that? Kid Traverse. Is Old Tower the band that had the Stellary Wisdom album on Profound Lore Records? Well, anyway, yeah, I think this is what, okay, cool. So, I bought that album, I found it at my local metal store, And I was excited to hear it because I'd heard a lot about that project, and I didn't really get into it too much because I thought it was like such a rip-off of Mortis that it was like not even really like listenable. Like, I guess I thought it was like really overrated because it had signed to a heavy metal label of all things, and even though there's like tons of dungeon synth labels out there, it's signed to a heavy metal label. It felt like it was just like a heavy metal label trying to like get into this thing which is getting really popular, just to kind of capitalize on it a little bit. And I thought the record was pretty standard. It just was like total Mortis ripoff, just like it was like Mortis but minus the magic. I guess that's how I felt about it, and I still have it. I think I have it listed on Discogs. I listened to it like 2 times and I was like, eh. So I don't know, but I do like dungeon synth, I have to say, and yeah, so, alright, I'm gonna put a different CD on. Give me a minute, I'll be gonna walk over my stereo over here. Talk amongst yourselves. Think of questions, I'll be back. I probably should have put these CDs by the stereo, right? Okay. Alright, so something a little more dramatic now. This is Karjalan Sissit, which is a project from Finland, spearheaded by a guy named Markus Pessonen. And this is another guy that had a past with black metal. He was involved with a project back in the early 90s called The Black, which also featured John Nodvik from Dissection on, I think, as a singer on one of their records. And then he started doing this project, I believe, in the early 2000s. I'm not sure when this record's from. I think I bought it early 2000s. Let's see. So this came out in January. Looks like this came out in 2002. That's when I'm pretty sure when I bought it too. I was really eager to check this band out because at the time I was listening to a lot of this kind of music, which is basically called like industrial, martial industrial. Oh wait, we got a question. Was it you who featured my work in a couple of YouTube compilations? Yes, Rach, that was me, and I do like your work. I think you should make more of it, and I really liked it. Yeah, it was cool stuff. I don't know if I don't know how many albums you've made. I think it might have been only your old project name that I put on the compilations, but yeah, that was cool doing that, and I should probably get back to doing more of those compilations. I haven't done one of those 1-hour mixes of new dark ambient in quite a while, probably a few years now, so I should probably get back to doing that. But yeah, that was you. I did put you on at least 1 or 2 of my thoughts, and yeah, I definitely need to check out more of your albums. I don't know if you've made more recently, but I definitely need to get back to checking those out. That was cool stuff. All right, we're up to 10 people watching, so I got 4 thumbs up. More thumbs up is better, obviously. Is the video quality getting any better, or is it still fucked? Let me know. Anyway, I like these questions, and I easily get derailed, and that's okay, it's fine. So this is Karjalan Sissit. This is a martial industrial project from Finland, created by Markus Pessonen. And this is a project that's been going since the early 2000s. 11 viewers, fuck yeah! And it's sort of a mixture of, like, I'm assuming sampled orchestras mixed with, like, heavy percussion and, like some power electronics, noise, and, you know, obviously dark ambient characteristics. That's why I'm, reviewing it here. This is an album I've always liked a lot, and I've always meant to get more of his albums, but they released on Cold Meat Industry and other European labels, so it's kind of hard to track them down, but I should probably get back to doing that. Hopefully you guys can hear it well again. If you cannot hear the music, definitely let me know, because that's important to hear the music while I talk about it. So, we got more questions. Thanks so much, man. Have made 4 albums. Love your work and your support. I really need to get back into it. And yes, you absolutely need to get back to making it happen too. Love and support always. Yes. Oh my God, Cryo Chambers joined us. Hi, Simon. How you doing? Oh shit. I gotta talk about a Cryo Chamber release now. All right. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. Oh no, not embarrassed. I'm nervous. Sorry. Oh my God. All right. No, I'm just kidding. If you stream in 720p and increase upstream KB quality will be better. Okay. Well, I have no idea how to do that, but let's try. I think I have it set to that. That's set on my computer. If there's something I gotta do on here, I don't know. So this is why this is a test, this whole thing. Even though I'm having fun with this. This is, what does that mean? Oh, that's a door. Don't press that button, that flips the camera around, alright. Well, that's, I don't know what that is either. Okay. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll get better? Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. Maybe not. Well, extremist. Alright. Well, I don't know if it's getting better. I know I don't know how you change the settings on my phone necessarily, but I think it is the upload speed of computers too, because when I did my test video like an hour and a half ago, it was all choppy at first too, and then it had to like download it all. So like I said earlier, like maybe if you pause the video for like a couple minutes, it'll download it quick, upload it quicker, and then you'll be able to see it. I don't know. And well, anyway, I guess we'll figure it out later. This is a test video, even though I'm obviously drinking beer and getting crazy and talking about music I love. So I am just using my iPhone to stream this. Nothing fancy, I guess. I don't know how most people do these things, and this is how I do it, because this is what I have, and this is all I have, so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, this is Karjalan Sissit we are listening to. Project that's got... I love just the really bleak nature of this music. It really just, like, I don't know, paints this really just dark portrait of, like, I guess Finland, I don't know. This is where he's from, I don't know. But I've been to Finland, and I have to say, I drank a lot of beer when I was in Finland, and there wasn't a damn thing about it that made me feel melancholy. But I was at heavy metal festivals too while I was there, and I was getting fucking loaded and partying with hot Finnish metal chicks, and I mean, I made a lot of friends over there, and I really miss them sometimes. And so Finland's really cool, and I love Finland. I have so many bands from Finland I love, which is probably why I checked out this band originally, is because they were from Finland. And yeah, so I don't know what else to say about this project other than it's really cool and you should check it out. Yeah. Well, if anyone has any more questions, I can definitely field those now. Yeah. Take notice of, wait, of my cool sign in the back. That's, well, it's in reverse, so it doesn't look well, but it says Joe's Metal Man Cave. I hope you guys enjoy that as much as I do. That was a gift from my beloved Kara. She gave it to me for Christmas, and I really like that a lot. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna adjust this camera a little. I like to have different backdrops and so on and so forth. What did Rach say? Be right back, inspired to party with hot Finnish child and write music. Ha 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 ha. Alright. You go write some music, Rach. I'll still be here. Well, probably not, but I'll be here. Oh my god, I'm almost at 30 minutes of this nonsense. I can't believe I made it this long. Well, that's really cool. Music sounds mushy. Alright, I'm gonna try turning the music up a little bit. Let me know if you can hear it better. It could just be that this... You might not be able to hear the music so well just because it's a little far away from the microphone. It's about 10 feet away from here, so maybe that's the problem. It wasn't just loud enough. Let me know if you can hear it better anyway. Alright, we're up to 13 people now. This is going well. Alright. So, yeah. This is Karjalan Sissit, in case you're just joining us. This is their album from 2002 called Nissa or something like that. Check that out. Focus. Focus. Well, anyway, here's the front cover, and unfortunately I have to see it backwards because I haven't figured out how this works. But there's I don't know if these are like, I think I read somewhere that these were like photos of Marcus's family or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, because I thought one of the albums had like a photo. I think this was his first time. Had a photo of like his grandpa who had served in World War II or something on the cover. I can't remember now, but yeah. Maybe you should broadcast the music directly from your computer instead of in the background. I don't know how the stuff, but yeah. Yeah, the music. I mean, I could try playing the music from the computer too and see how that works any better. I don't know. Maybe I could just move myself closer to the music too. Maybe that would help. I don't know. All right. Well, whatever. I don't like that. I like to have cool backdrops, this kind of thing. Wow, the quality just increased. What the hell did I do? I don't know. I can't. This isn't working. I'm blinded by my fucking photography lamp now. Well, I don't know. Something good happened. We know that much. Whatever. Don't know why. Maybe the black spirits blessed you. Undoubtedly, the blacks are with us all, and they will always bless us with their unholy magic. So, you know, I should have grabbed more beers. I only have this one beer, and it's almost gone. I might have to walk away for a minute and run downstairs and grab another beer if I get through this one. And I'm probably going to, because this is going a lot quicker, and I'm already feeling a buzz, or I'm just continuing my drunkery from last night. I don't know. It's fun anyway. I like doing this stuff. I'm glad people are watching it, because you guys could be like not tuning in at all. You could just be like flipping me off and saying like, this is fucking gay and why are you doing this? This is stupid. But you're not, so that's cool. And obviously the more I do of the, 15 people, fuck yeah. So the more of these I do, I guess the more you'll get into it, and the more the proper Inner Sanctum episodes I do, the ones where I'm not a bumbling drunk. Well, not as much of a bumbling drunk as I am for this right here. Obviously the fanship will, I lost 2 people. What happened? What the fuck? Come back. I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, come on. 12 now? This is nonsense. All right. All right. Fuck it. New album. Alright. 10 people now. Oh, I'm not doing so well. Alright. So now we're listening to a band called Winterblood. This is an album that was released last year on the Grey Matter Productions label, and this is the album L'Ingresso, or something like that. I don't necessarily know how to pronounce Italian very well, so bear with me. Winterblood is a project from Stefano Sessi, and he's allegedly been doing this project since like the mid-90s, but he only started releasing stuff, I think, within like the past like 6-7 years or something. I don't know. But allegedly the project dates back to like the mid-90s. I don't know if there's just private releases or something like that, but like I'm pretty sure his first releases weren't until like 2010 or something like that. So he makes, obviously, you know, the name Winterblood, he makes winter polar ambient kind of stuff. And it's all used, he uses all of it with analog synth, and it's, you know, obviously, I've never used the analog synth myself, so I don't really know much about it, but I think it's a little more involved in a digital synthesizer. And it has sort of this feel of, I guess, sort of more like, you know, old school kind of krautrock stuff, kind of in a way, because it, you know, that's what they used back in the 70s. So it's got that vibe to it. But obviously then it's mixed with all this polar ambient. Oh my God, I lost someone. All right, I'm not doing well. Anyway, it's mixed with, you know, this polar ambient sound, and it's really cool stuff. It's, you know, it's a little more melodic than some dark ambient music, but it's really good stuff, and well worth looking into. And since I've had some releases of my own on the Grey Matter Productions label, it's I know that there's several of these copies still available, and it's well worth checking out. This is a great little record, and you know, it comes in this nice little digipack, and you know, it's simple, but I really dig it. I don't know, I like just simple digipacks, I guess. I like digipacks in general, but I should really buy some plastic sleeves for all these so they don't get too banged up on my CD tower. And yeah, so that's what Winter, you can kind of hear, hopefully you can hear in the background. Hopefully it's not too mushy, as Immorpher mentioned. But again, let me know if you can't hear it very well, and I'll see what I can do. Well, it looks good on my computer now, so does it look good on your guys' computer? Maybe it just needed to take some time to upload the stream or something like that. I don't know. Well, cool. I'm glad this is working out better. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. It doesn't even have to be like related to Winterblood or any of these releases I've talked about. I just like talking about dark ambient music a lot. Yes, it's better now. Sweet. So it's better. It's like lots of people are having. Hello from Finland. Yes, Winterblood is cool. Fuck yeah, they are. I am glad Finland people know about Winterblood. And hey, fuck yeah, Finland rules, man. If you don't like your country, there's something wrong with you, man. Finland's fucking cool as hell. I would happily go and go visit there again, or even spend an extended period of time there if I could. Yeah, so Finland rules. And, well, I'm gonna diverge really badly here and just talk about, like, when I went to Finland, I went to what the hell is it called? The Tuska Metal Festival. That was back in 2011 and 2012. That was a really good time. I, drank enough beer to probably destroy my liver. And, I was there for a week, and honestly, I don't remember much of it because I was drunk for the most part, but it was a really good time, and, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Finland. Okay, no more talking about Finland. This is Winterblood you're hearing right now, and this is a really awesome album on the Grey Matter Productions label. Well worth checking out if you're into polar ambient. It's not really, you know, similar or comparable to a lot of stuff. It kind of has sort of a, I think, sort of a black metal kind of vibe to it. I don't know if Stefano is a black metal dude or if he's into that kind of thing, but it has those kind of vibes. Like, a lot of these songs sound like something that could be like an intro or a middle track in a black metal album. That's what I really like about it. I think it just sounds like, you know, an extended intro and stuff like that. And I love, like, a lot of black metal bands make fucking awesome, like, dark ambient instrumental tracks. That's why I actually did those playlists on my channel to kind of highlight that black metal bands really can write some really good pieces. And sometimes I wish some of these bands that do these dark ambient style tracks would pursue solo projects. I mean, some of these single tracks they do are really fantastic. Yeah, so I should have had more material prepared, right? So I'm trying to think of some questions some people that asked me about Lady Decade. Oh, that's, you know, so that's my Instagram. Okay. I'm trying to think of some of the questions I was asked. Give me a moment. I'm gonna field some questions that I was supposed to be asked on this podcast last night, but did not get asked. So I'm gonna talk about that. I guess I don't really have much to say about Winterblood other than it's a cool ass CD. What got you into, what's the name of that Winterblood record? The name of that Winterblood record is L'Ingresso. I don't know how to pronounce Italian. I think L'Ingresso. And, really good record. I mean, you're listening to it right now. Hopefully you can hear it fine, and well worth checking out. I think you can buy it from Grey Matter Productions website for like $8 or something. It comes in this nice digipack and it sounds really good. It sounds like it was mastered properly and everything. What did Morpher say here? I have finished Ancestors. Is dark ambient in our blood or something? Entirely possible. Well, you know, now that I think about it, I'm not really that familiar with a lot of dark ambient projects from Finland. I mean, there's a shit ton of really awesome black metal projects from Finland. But off the top of my head, I'm not really, like, I'm sort of drawing a blank here. I probably could look behind me and find some dark ambients from Finland, but, I mean, obviously dark ambient is kind of a Scandinavian thing. Yeah. Finland is definitely, you know, definitely a black metal thing. There's a shit ton of really fucking cool black metal bands from Finland. There always has been. I trust there always will be, because they've got a good, you know, legion of bands going there that just, you know, keep making awesome albums. Great, just traditional old school black metal, which is hard to find, you know. God. Cryo Chamber, you still with us? You didn't leave us, did you? Because I'm totally gonna review a Sabled Sun album and geek out. So let me know if you're still here, please. Anyway, so I was gonna field the question. Oh, what got you into dark ambient music? And I think I've kind of told this story on the Inner Sanctum episodes a few times, and basically it all started in the late 90s. I had got into black metal, I believe sometime in 1999, and it was just sort of a progression of things getting into black metal. It just led me to dark ambient music. But in particular, when I first started to get into black metal, it was the band Emperor that really impressed me the most. I just love the dark, just evil atmosphere of their music. And of course, a lot of people know that Mortis was one of the original members of Emperor, and well, he got kicked out of the band like during their second demo or something. But obviously, a lot of people know who Mortis is, and people know that immediately after he got booted from Emperor, he started his solo project called Mortis. And Mortis, undeniably, was the first dark ambient related project I heard. And back then, everyone called him dark ambient. There was no other name. I mean, I know he liked to call his music dark dungeon music, but almost everyone just called him dark ambient. And I know nowadays they call it dungeon synth or whatever. But those old albums, I always regard them as dark ambient, no matter what anyone says. So it started with Mortis, and when I got into Mortis, it just opened up this whole world. Like, I loved the world he created in his albums. It opened up all this imagery in my brain. I loved that atmosphere that he created, and that was really what got me going on dark ambient music way back then. That was like, and if I remember correctly, that was like December of 1999 when I first heard Mortis. And I should probably be playing, whatever, I'm not going to play Mortis because we're going to listen to Winterblood for a while. So, yeah. Live show, nice. That's right. Yeah, it's my first live show. Thank you for joining here. This is a test because I'm really unprepared in any way, but the good news is I think the stream is nice and clear now, so it's, at least on my computer, some people else said it was clear in theirs. Before we were really choppy. So hopefully everything's, sounding better and we're doing good here. And I got completely derailed again. So, I was talking about how I got into dark ambient music, and it started with Mortis, and I don't really know. A little bit bright. Oh, I can turn that down. Hold on. How's that? There, a little less bright. So there we go. It's my dark ambient journey, if you will, started with Mortis back in 1999, and I don't really know where it went from there. I think I probably bought CDs from, the common, well-known artists like Lustmord and Rosin Dietry and various other like Cold Meat Industry and stuff like that. I know I bought Northhaunt's Ominous Silence pretty early on, I think just a few months after it came out, and that's a record that has stuck with me throughout all this time. It's still one of my absolute favorite records, and it's weird because like a lot of people that hear dark ambient music, I don't know if they necessarily get it, and especially if this, if you're someone that's like used to a typical like song structure, I think getting into dark ambient music could be a little weird, but I don't know. As soon as I heard dark ambient music, it just resonated with me. It really spoke to me in a way I can't explain, and maybe it's just because I am sort of a really introspective person, and I kind of like prefer being alone sometimes. Well, not all the time. I love being with friends and stuff like that, but I don't mind being alone, I guess, and I don't mind thinking about life and what's happened in the past and what's yet to happen and where I am currently. So I'm a really introspective person, I guess, and it really just resonates with my soul. I don't know how else to put it. As soon as I heard dark ambient music, it just made sense. It didn't matter if the music was really melodic. It was just all about that atmosphere. It really spoke to me, and just it always, still to this day, if I hear the right album, it just takes me to this place. It's not, it's dark, but it's not a bad place necessarily, and I love dark ambient music. Maybe my soul is dark. I don't know. I don't even know what it means to be dark necessarily. I mean, we all have, our inner demons and stuff like that. I have issues with depression and stuff like that, but, and dark ambient music has helped me through shit like that. All music has, really, but I've always loved dark ambient music for getting me through tough times and, and stuff like that, so, yeah. So, at any time, feel free to ask questions. anything that's on it doesn't have to be related to the music. About just well, I mean, it can be related to dark ambient music, anything dark ambient music. I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know how much longer this is gonna go on for. I'm at 45 minutes. I don't know if I'm boring anyone. Let me know if you're still entertained. Give me a thumbs up or say this is cool. Tell me if this is cool or not. I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep doing this. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I think I'll have to be like, hail Satan. Yeah, you said it, Forest of Frogs. Fuck yeah, hail Satan, all that shit. Hail the. Oh, you know what? Fucking name. So, Forest of Frogs, this is for you. Thumbs up, hell yeah. So, Forest of Frogs, he's my buddy from Maryland. His name is Dan. He does a project called Forest. I talked about it on episode 6. So if you want to know a little bit more about the project, you can go watch that and check it out. But he recently sent me a Christmas gift. He sent me this painting. Pretty cool. So yeah, it's obviously very abstract. It looks kind of like a frog that got smushed in like a pond or something like that. I really like it though. It's super cool. I gotta find a spot on my wall for it too. And he also sent me, where is it? His latest album, The Grim Toad Demos. Love the cover artwork, by the way, Dan. And yeah, Dan does sort of a heavy drone, dark ambient experimental music. And if you're into that kind of thing, definitely check it out. And I should also show that photograph you sent me a while ago, Dan. I don't know it actually though, so maybe next time I'll do it. And if you hear any weird sounds, there's just this dog sneezing in the background, so pay you no mind to that. So there's the painting Dan sent me. Pretty cool stuff. So thank you again, Dan. I really like this. I love weird abstract shit like this, and yeah, and I gotta find a spot on this wall for it, and I will hang it for him. Oh yeah, you know what else? So his last release, he also did these little. He included these little canvases with an abstract painting as well. So and. You know, I'm like no art critic or whatever. I just like what looks good to my eyes. You know, so this looks cool to me. I like shit like this, and it really means a lot when people just send me this kind of stuff, just because they like the Inner Sanctum or they like dark ambient or they like my music. So it's really cool. So thank you again for doing that, Dan. That was really fucking cool, dude. And if for some reason you're ever in Wisconsin, we should definitely get together and have a few beers and definitely do a live stream together. I think that'd be really fun. So fuck yeah, man. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, but. Oh, so when did I start doing my own dark ambient and what inspired you the most? So I first started Noctilucant back in, I guess it was like June or July of 2015. I had wanted to do a dark ambient project for, I would say, since the early 2000s. I think the first project that really inspired me to want to do dark ambient was Atrium Carcerate. When I heard Session to You, and I was like, holy shit, dude, this is such a massively awesome record that like I couldn't believe how awesome, like how like cinematic and just like how every track stood out. There was no bad track. It was an album that really demanded your attention. That was something I really wanted to create when I started doing music. And that's, I can't say every one of my albums is good or great or whatever, but I genuinely tried to make my music as, cinematic and made it music that, you really have to kind of pay attention to. Like some dark ambient music can be just something in the background. I've always tried to do more cinematic stuff where you kind of gotta sit down and focus on what's going on, because there's always like a narrative going on my albums. So, yeah, it was really Atrium Carcerate that inspired me years ago. But it wasn't until, I believe, the first Sable Sun album came up, which is also a project from Simon Heath. He released his first album, and I was blown away, because I've always loved post-apocalyptic stories, and Sable Sun being a post-apocalyptic project, it was very inspiring. And as soon as I heard that record, I was like, well, that's it. I gotta finally start doing this. And things just kind of aligned at the right time, too, because a friend of mine, he had just moved to Greenland for a job opportunity. He sold me his synthesizer for like $200, and it was like an $850 synthesizer, so it was a pretty massively awesome deal that I got. And, I'd bought instruments in the past, like a guitar and shit like that, and I would buy them, fuck around with them for a few weeks or months, and then I would just get sick of it. But as soon as I had that synthesizer in my hand, it was magic right away. Like the the music started coming out of me right away, and I didn't even know how to record music back then, so I was like just improvising, doing these like all this like spacey ambient and just dark horror shit just around my living room. It was so awesome. I was having so much fun with it, and then it wasn't until a bit later that I had to buy a proper computer and, you know, figure out how to, you know, do a line into my computer to record everything and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a fun time learning, you know, like audio production and stuff like that too, and yeah, you know, I hope that kind of answers your question. But yeah, it was really, you know, Sabled Sun in the first album. I should pull it out. Where is that? Well. Yes. So, yes, it was that first Sabled Sun album that really inspired me. And yeah, and great record. If you haven't heard this one, my friend, you should definitely check it out. I apologize once again for the reverse camera. I don't know how to do that. I gotta figure that out. I don't know. Maybe I just have to point my camera in the other direction. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so Sabled Sun was really the project that inspired me. Earth is not a spinning ball. Who said? Simon Heath says it is, so it is. So yeah, what else? How can I elaborate on that? So yeah, I mean, it was obviously, you know, Sabled Sun was a huge influence, and you know, it was just other things like other post-apocalyptic tales, zombie flicks were a big influence on me. In fact, if you guys are familiar with the song, my song called The Deep Dead Hour, I'm sorry, I don't know my own song titles. That song was directly influenced by this film called Pontypool, which if you haven't watched is a fantastic film, well worth looking up. But I watched that film one evening with my girlfriend. We were watching it on Netflix, and like I was unemployed at the time, so the very next day, like I wrote that song, and like it was just I spent like the whole day writing the narrative, and just I don't know. It was totally inspired by that movie, which is awesome. Well worth checking out if you have not. Oh, here we go. Some more questions. One more question. Hope to not stretch it. Is there any dark ambient music from video games or movies that you like a lot? Personally, I find the Silent Hill original soundtracks great, as well as, of course, Atrium Carcere's Leviathan original soundtrack. Yes, that is undeniably also a huge influence for me, is the soundtracks by Akira Yamaoka, the Silent Hill. I have those right over here. Let's check those out, huh? So I would probably say this is probably one of the absolute best video game soundtracks ever made. Really enjoy your music, and Earth really isn't a spinning ball. That's fine. I don't care what it is. The Earth can do whatever it wants to do. It can be a spinning ball, it can be a big flat thing, it can be a fucking triangle for all I care. Whatever. We're here, we're doing our thing, and we're having fun, and we're drinking beer and being mostly happy. I don't know, whatever. I would probably say the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack is probably one of the best video game soundtracks ever conceived. It's so diverse, and just there's so much going on. It has a lot of cinematic qualities to it too, and it's just the atmosphere is so rich. It just has this foggy, dark atmosphere to it that's unlike anything else I've ever heard. And I played the game back when it first came out, and I loved both of the games. Like I bought the first Silent Hill game kind of blindly because someone told me it was like the Resident Evil game. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta check this. I love the first 3 Resident Evil games for the PlayStation. So I had to check out Silent Hill when it came out, and I absolutely loved Silent Hill. I mean, it was a bit different. It wasn't like as, I guess maybe not as action-packed as like Resident Evil, but I really loved it anyway. So yeah, and yeah, the Silent Hill soundtracks are definitely a huge influence on me. The first one in particular is interesting because there's a lot of like industrial ambient stuff kind of going on in this one. It's really, for like I guess, you know, like a soundtrack to a video game, it's a bit abrasive. And I remember back then, when did this come out? It doesn't say. When the hell did the first Silent Hill game? 1998 maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I remember hearing that when I played the first game, I was like, holy shit, I love this dark fucking evil music, and it really, you know, it really resonated with me. So yeah, I was, you know, hearing, you know, dark ambient music before I even knew what the hell dark ambient music was, you know. And like I was talking about earlier, you know, I grew up like with a lot of records from the 70s, like a lot of, you know, Pink Floyd, and like a lot of their older songs when the synthesizer was a bigger part of their music, there was a lot of dark ambient characteristics in their music. So dark ambient music has kind of always been a part of my life. I just didn't know it until, I guess, like late 1999 when it was kind of, you know, when I had the internet and I was reading all these zines and stuff like that, and I was finally kind of clearly spelled out to me like what dark ambient music was. Okay, we got some questions coming in. What we got here? All right. I've been DJing for over 30 years, techno mostly. Big shout from Glastonbury, UK. Yeah, cool. Fuck yeah, dude. So, I don't know much about techno. I actually just recently tried to really get into listening to trance and EBM music, and it lasted like about 5 days before I had to get back to spinning some grim-ass black metal because it was way too optimistic for me. But yeah, I had a brief period in like the early 2000s where I was really into like synth pop and EBM, and I was just like really trying to date a lot of gothic chicks because they like that stupid shit. So that was kind of around that time period, and I was having a lot of fun. Yeah, that's awful. Wow, laugh out loud. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. So I tried to get back into EBM and trance and all that stuff, and I still have some stuff on. Some friends gave me some suggestions. I still gotta check out some more of it, but I don't know too much about that genre particularly. Okay, someone else put a question. What else? Have you checked the new L'infidele Forêt? It's from Perturbator Guy. It's not 100% dark ambient. It's some down-tempo and industrial, but very influenced by the Silent Hill soundtrack. Oh, Nicholas just said he saw Bauhaus live back in 1987. That's fucking cool as hell. I never saw Bauhaus live because I don't. Well, I think they played here in Milwaukee back in like maybe late 90s, early 2000s. I think like they played with like 9 Inch Nails or something. I think it's maybe 2005 because I remember my girlfriend telling me she went to see it because they opened for 9 Inch Nails, which is fucking bullshit. Like, how can like the goth originators have to open up for anyone? That's fucking crap, dude. And like, I'm just gonna say this live and make a public record that fucking 9 Inch Nails is really overrated. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand. I never got 9 Inch Nails. Like, I respect Trent Reznor as like an innovator of like industrial music and all that, and I'm sure he's a creative genius, but it just doesn't resonate me with the same way. Alright, so I'm missing questions now. Earlier you talked about finding a narrative for each track. How does it work for you? Do you write down some sort of story and try to create a track around it? Well, I sort of just kind of, I guess, form a story in my brain, and then I'll sort of do like I'll always like kind of write lyrics down to kind of form the story, I guess. Nice to see you, dude. Got to put a kid to bed. Laters in peace. All right, thanks for joining us, Nicholas. I'm definitely gonna do more of these in the future. Cool to have you here, man. All right, later. So yeah, I mean, usually when I'm creating a song, well, my albums are, you know, usually one big, well, not necessarily one big story. Like the first album, Back to the Mud and Oblivion to You All, weren't like. It was centralized around a post-apocalypse theme. There wasn't like one main theme going on. I didn't start doing that until The Bleak and Drained of Color, where the main theme was a man trapped in like his bunker during a post-apocalyptic situation while he was mourning the loss of his love. That's basically what that album's about. Someone actually kind of asked me what that's, but that's what the album's about. And yeah, so yeah, usually when I'm writing a new album, for my new album I'm working on right now, I'm kind of sticking to like a theme where there's like a central character, not just various characters. Because like, if people remember Back to the Mud, there were several characters. I like voiced almost all the characters in that album, but there were several characters. I'm kind of focusing now just to have one central character for most of the albums. And I never like, you know, create a name or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's just this character in this post-apocalyptic situation. And well, okay, so here's a little teaser, I guess. So the new album is basically, it's about a man who's once again survived during a post-apocalyptic age, and he's now traversing what was once a normal landscape, which is now frozen over into this tundra, this post-apocalyptic frozen tundra, which is something I sort of hinted at in the Oblivion to You All album. On the first track, Introspective Dissolution, there's a small mentioning of that with the narrative at the beginning of that song. And so go back to that song if you want to kind of know what I'm talking about. But this whole album is centered around this character who is in this part of the world that used to be, normal climate. Now it's frozen over in this frozen tundra, and he's traversing this barren landscape. So the new record's gonna be more of a polar ambient kind of thing, and basically polar ambient sort of mixed with like post-apocalyptic and urban decay kind of thing, with some like industrial characteristics. I think you guys will like it. I'm gonna force Crowd Chamber to listen to it. Hopefully they'll like it and they'll wanna sign me and stuff like that. Simon, you still there? No, he left. That sucks. Good. It's probably good that you didn't see that. Whatever. Anyway, that's some new albums. Pretty exciting. Basically, most of the album is this guy traversing this frozen landscape while encountering various things, and eventually he comes across this village overrun by automatons, and he tries to, be part of this. Mechanical village, basically. That's kind of the story of the new album. So, but keep that to yourself. Don't make that too public. Well, I just did. Whatever. Okay. I think we have another question. Simon wrote he had to go earlier, I believe, looking at the chat log. Cool. Alrighty. So, Simon maybe will come back later on. I don't know. Whatever. This is depressing. I'm almost out of beer. Okay, so think of some questions. I'm gonna put this microphone on this cute dog over here. Her name is Annabelle. I'll be right back. Oh, look at her, she's so cute. Hi, Annabelle. You're live, Annabelle. I don't think she likes it very much. Alright, so we've been doing this for over an hour now, and you guys haven't, there's still 6 of you watching, so that's good. I'm assuming eventually you're all going to tell me to fuck off and just shut up, but okay. I'll be right, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to run downstairs and get another beer, talk amongst yourselves, formulate some questions. I'll be right back. Listen to Winterblood. Can you hear Winterblood? This fucking album rules, yeah. Alright, I'm back, baby. Any questions? Don't worry, Nate, you're doing great. Don't be so hard on yourself. Well, I'm glad I'm doing great, because, I think doing these videos, like, I'm not, like, no bullshit, guys. Like, I actually have really bad social anxiety. And, like, sometimes doing, like, normal human shit, like just going to the grocery store, like, it causes me a lot of anxiety. I don't know why, like, and it's weird. Like, I don't really like being around a lot of people. So doing these actually help to kind of get over that shit. So, yeah, I mean, I've been more social and I don't get anxiety when I go into public as much as I used to. So, dark ambient music once again is being therapeutic and helping me through my daily life. And well, beer does that too, of course. So now I'm drinking the Scream IPA by New Glarus Brewing Company. And my girlfriend is gonna be righteously pissed when she finds there's gonna be a fight later on. Oh, good lord, that's better. Any more questions? Oh man. All right. 65 minutes in here. I'm gonna probably cut this off at the hour and a half mark, unless you guys keep asking me questions. So I'm gonna field the question here since you guys aren't giving me any. So a very general question someone asked me once was, do you like animals? And I have to say I do love animals quite a bit, but like I'm like just like in like the past decade like allowed like animals to be a part of my life because it was back when I guess it was back in like 2006 I moved out of my parents' house finally, and before that my dad wouldn't allow me to have cats and dogs because he's kind of a jerk, and his big thing was he was overly concerned that the cats or dogs were going to destroy his house and stuff like that. And so he wouldn't, when we were kids, he didn't allow us to have cats and dogs, which caused me a lot of frustration because I had friends that had cats and dogs, and all I wanted in the world was a cat and a dog. And now me and my girlfriend, we have cats. We definitely want to get a dog. The dog I showed earlier, we just dog sit once in a while, and yeah. So I love animals. I love them. I'm really diverging here. This is ridiculous. Okay, we got a question. Finish your current question, but as a heads up, how much curiosity do you have, if any, in occult things? But be it Cthulhu mythos or other things. So, yeah, that's a good question. So, there was a period in my life where I was briefly into the occult. This was back in 2011, and I kind of talked about this in, I believe it was the Inner Sanctum episode 4 or 5? Maybe it was in both of them, I don't know. But, yeah, oh my, low battery, oh my god, that's not good, oh no. Well, if we suddenly get apparently doing live streams drains the living shit out of the batteries on my phone. Well, if we suddenly get cut off, guys, you know what? I'll be right back, I gotta fucking find a way to charge this shit. This is not good. Oh my god, not good at all. Hold on, keep listening to Winterblood, good shit, I'll be right back. Yeah, alright. I'm learning a lot about how this all works, and now it's good to know that doing live video completely depletes my battery in a very short amount of time. Alright, so how are we gonna do this? Should be able to plug it in over here. Okay, so I gotta drop this down a little bit so it actually reaches. Actually, no, I don't have to do that. I got an extension cord right here. Look at this. And we are charging, alright. Fantastic. Let's figure this one out, huh? Alright. You're all still with me, yes? God, I gotta reposition that. Sorry about this, guys. You know, this is my first time doing this, so all those technical difficulties and what have you. Alright, I'm back, and no stress, okay, cool. So I'm back, and get to see another little part of my reverse man cave over here, and what the hell was I even talking about? I don't know. Okay, so I was telling about the occult stuff, right. So back in like 2011, I had a brief interest in Luciferianism, and this all happened because of, I guess basically because of I was listening to way too much black metal at the time, and at the time I had bought a CD from this band called Black Funeral, and the dude from Black Funeral, whose name I can't for the life of me remember right now, is like a high priest in like this Luciferian order, And this is something he's been into, like, I guess since he was a teenager, so he takes it super serious. And he had some books, and I bought them. And for a little while, like 6 months of my life, I was really interested in the cult, and I tried some like rituals, and you know, it's really hot in here. I tried like doing some rituals and shit like that, but I don't know, I guess like none of it really like totally resonated with, made sense with me, I guess. It's and it's weird too, because like I have like a religious background. I was forcibly raised Catholic, and it never really resonated with me. I was like, when I was like 7 years old, I was telling my parents it's fucking bullshit, and they got really mad at me. So, but I think just there's still that part of me that's always kind of like longed to have like some sort of greater meaning of the world, and you know, beyond what's obvious in front of us. And that was what sort of led me briefly down that occult path. And yeah, so fucking yeah, that was what that was about it really. I mean, more recently I've been kind of interested in paganism, but I mean, and I guess that kind of defines my beliefs a little bit better. I'm a very, I guess, nature-based person. Everything, comes from nature and should return to nature, and that's kind of how I see things. Do you know Varg Vikernes? Of course I know Varg Vikernes. I love Varg. Well, some stuff Varg talks about is, a little crazy. I'm not really into the whole neo-Nazi thing, but otherwise I like Varg. He's a comedic genius and a pretty good musician, so yeah. And surprise, surprise, I do have Burzum albums somewhere. Yes. There's yes. I love the old Burzum black metal albums. That ambient stuff he was doing in the late 90s, not so much. Do you like Inquisition? If so, what's your favorite album? I love Inquisition. I have a few Inquisition albums too, as a matter of fact. I like a lot of black metal. I would probably say my favorite genres of music are probably black metal and dark ambient music. If I had to be totally honest with you guys, that's what I probably listen to the most. So a lot of darkness, a lot of evil shit going on in my ears, I guess. But I also like a lot of, other shit too. Like I'll listen to, like, one of my all-time favorite bands is, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about Inquisition. Okay, so Inquisition. Where the hell is Inquisition? Wow, where is it? Yes, so I have a couple Inquisition CDs here. 4 of them, actually. Yes. Inquisition's a pretty sick-ass band. My favorite album from them, I would probably say Into the Infernal Regions of the Ancient Cult is my favorite. This is a band that has been around since like the early 90s. I didn't discover them until like 2010, but holy shit, when I heard this stuff, I loved it. I mean, as far as black metal is concerned, that's some pretty legit shit right there. I mean, if you guys like black metal, if you guys like black metal and you haven't heard Inquisition, you've definitely got some homework to do. So, hell yeah. So, yeah. I kind of like this view better. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but whatever. Yeah. So, oh, that was Forest of Frogs. Yeah. So, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, Forest of Frogs. I love Inquisition. That's good stuff. Black Funeral is pretty good. I was listening to it a lot a few months ago. Do you like his ambient projects? I feel like I've never actually heard his ambient projects, other than like that recent one he collaborated with. I think it was a collaboration with Corona Barathre, if I'm not mistaken. He did a split CD with them. I don't know. I only have the digital version. I didn't get the physical. I can't remember now, but yeah, because he did that underneath one of his monikers. It wasn't under Black Funeral. It was under Akita or something like that. I thought his ambient project was called. I don't know. Or maybe that's just his occult name. I don't know. But yeah, that's that's probably something I need to explore more. It's probably really cool stuff, because Black Funeral, as raw and primal as it is pretty interesting stuff, I think. Yeah. Alright, so we're at almost 75 minutes. Let's see here, what else can I say? so many questions. I got a lot of questions from the, oh, there's one. Okay, let's stick to the stream questions then. So, your stream reminds me that I wanted to check out your Bandcamp again. I did buy some other album in the past, but there's some new releases since. Yes, this is true. I have had some releases in, well, I don't know which albums you bought, but I did have a couple new releases last year. One was a compilation of some older tracks, which was, well, basically the concept of that release was just to bring some digital tracks into a physical format. Some of those tracks kind of got slightly remastered for that release too, so they sounded a little bit better. But it was mostly just to you know, kind of bring that to a physical format, some of those old tracks. Because as you can see behind me, I have a lot of CDs, and even though like everyone loves digital, I still love collecting CDs and tapes and records, and I don't think that will ever change unless they stop making them. And even so, I'll still probably buy them because they're always going to be out there, the old releases. So, but I should probably know the name of my own albums, but I've been drinking too much to remember them. But back in September, I had a split CD released with a project from Russia known as Deep Dark. And where is it? Okay, so oh, right. So this was my album that was released back in September by Noctilucant. It is called Paginae Nigris, and it was a split and collaborative effort with the Deep Dark project from Russia. For this one, we kind of did more of a horror, dark, ritualistic kind of vibe. It was what we were aiming for. I mean, I don't know. I was totally inspired by Corona Barathra, and whether or not that you know, influence is there or not is another story. And I kind of, you know, like I was talking about earlier, my Luciferian past was kind of an influence to those songs too. So yeah, this is, I mean, I like my music. I don't, you know, there's like this taboo thing where like a lot of artists, no matter what genre you're in, like you're not supposed to say like good things about your music or whatever because it makes you look arrogant or something. And I say that's bullshit. Like there's no reason to hate your fucking music. Like you should be proud of your music. And like, you know, that's just the way it is. Like, but I don't know. A lot of people, like, if you talk about your music, or you know, people want to write you off as being arrogant or whatever. I just think that's bullshit. I like my music. I think my music is worth checking out if you're into dark ambient music. And it's not by any means the best dark ambient music out there. It's, you know, obviously because not all my records can even, you know, land up on a record label. Some I have to self-release because everyone listens to it and just says, not too good. So, but whatever. I like my music, and I will never ever, you know, say otherwise. I will always be proud of what I create. Creating is one of the most powerful things you can do, and I love doing it. It's very therapeutic to create music and create anything for that matter, and I will continue to do it whether there's listeners or not. So yeah, if you want to check that one, that was, you'd probably want to look that release on the actual Noctilucant Bandcamp if you want the physical release. Otherwise, I have my Bandcamp too if you want to grab one. So yeah, there you go. But I don't know what was the last album you actually heard, so maybe it's been a few years or something. Oh, I think we got some questions here. Oh, okay, so right, the last Within the Shadows of the Another World. So yeah, I'm really bad at this. I should probably know. I probably know my own discography, right? But right. Oh, right. So also shortly after that, there was the remnants of the SS Darwin compilation, which was basically leftover audio from the Dissension soundtrack sessions. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I was asked to create a soundtrack for a comic book, which is not a very orthodox thing, but basically the concept was the reader would listen to the soundtrack and pair it up with the image, the comic book. The soundtrack itself was like 15 minutes, and it would probably take you maybe 15 minutes. I think the whole plan was that there was supposed to be numerous comics created, but unfortunately after the first one, the other ones weren't backed on Kickstarter, so they never happened, which I was pretty fucking depressed about, but you know, it happens. I was just fortunate enough to, you know, have the one backed, and it was a really great experience composing in a completely different way. You know, I'm used to creating images in my brain when I compose music, but this was different. I had a I had a storyline and I had images to create music around. So it was, you know, it was a really unique experience, and I hope that I can do it again. I would love to score a video game or, you know, a horror film something someday. And I get a lot of requests to, you know, you know, for people to use their music in their short films and stuff like that. But then a lot of people don't really, you know, get back to me on it. Like, they never really show me the end results. So, yeah. So my girlfriend just texted me and said she's heading home from band practice, which means I'm gonna probably have to cut this off pretty soon, guys. I hate to say it, but it's just, so let's go like, unless I like get off track and we keep going extra, let's go like another 10 minutes. I'm gonna put the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack on because it's awesome. And yeah. Song, this is one of the coolest songs ever wrote. Like, it's like atmospheric rock before I even knew what like atmospheric rock was. Like, it is such a unique, special song. Like, I still remember the first time I played this video game. When I heard this, I was like, oh my god, it's so good. Like, there's these riffs, and like the composer Akira Yamaoka, I believe he played all the instruments on this song and the album in general. It was a really incredible effort, and yeah. So yeah, if you've never heard the Silent Hill soundtrack, Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, I'd give it my highest recommendation. It is one of the best albums ever created, and it's immensely influential on me as a dark ambient composer and a dark music composer in general, I guess. So yeah, let's see if we got any more questions. He's definitely made some great music. I haven't necessarily kept up with I haven't been any of the newer games or heard any of the newer soundtracks, but those first 3 soundtracks he did are just legit as fuck. That's fantastic music, and I mean, it's just great that every soundtrack was multi-genre, and but it all had that dark theme, which I love. Like, pretty much all the music I listen to is dark, and it just has that kind of dark undertone to it. It's what I love most, and I don't know if that makes me a dark person or something. Maybe I am. I don't know. But yeah. So, all right. We're gonna do about 7 more minutes here, and then I'm gonna cut this off. So, if you have any burning questions you'd like to see answered here, please post them now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sit here and drink beer and listen to the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack. My little stool here too. So that doesn't look good. I gotta lower that down. Well, what else can I talk about for a little while? I guess you guys have no questions. Let's see what we got here. Someone asked me, are you a full-time musician? Wouldn't that be awesome? No. Noctilucant is just, a hobby, a fun thing. It'd be great and very ambitious to think that one day I could do this as a living to pay the bills, but I mean, I would have to get in with a lot of composers and shit like that to make that happen. So right now it's just a hobby, it's fun. I'm glad, something I can't say enough is just how grateful I am that everyone checks out my music, and the fact that people enjoy it. It means so much to me that you guys get into it, because my music in a sense is just outpouring of my emotions and my soul, and I'm glad that something I created resonates with you. It's a really empowering thing to do that. And oh, is this music too loud? Well, whatever. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. I'm amazed this went this long. I thought I'd make it 30 minutes just bumbling around. This is going much better than I thought. I think the highest viewers we had. Oh, there's a question. Okay, I like these questions. What we got here? Maybe a tough question. Would you say the term dark music, not just ambient, has a lot of negative notion attached with it? Especially from the view of people that don't know well about it. I think so, yeah. That's a pretty good question because, you know, you say dark, a lot of, I mean, it forms, you know, if you say dark or evil or something like that, it forms certain images in people's head, and I think for a lot of, like, just kind of, you know, we'll say normal people, it probably forms some sort of image of, like goths or something like that, and, you know, I mean, I don't have anything against goth people. I was pretty gothy myself back in the day, but, yeah, I think, you know, when you just say dark, it definitely forms those images in people's brains, which may not be good. And if people are, like, you know, fucking crazy Catholics, it definitely doesn't show a good image in their brains either, because dark is obviously the work of Satan, and yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I hope that was a good answer. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, obviously anything dark. I mean, well, okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. When I was when I was a teenager, I had this friend, and his dad, well, he himself was like a super brainwashed Christian, and his parents were even more super crazy Christians, and they kind of took notice of the fact that when I was like 15, 16 years that I was into a lot of dark shit. Like, they didn't appreciate like me coming over wearing like Slayer t-shirts and shit like that, and they never really said anything to me directly, but I heard through my friend that they were like, what's up with Joe? Is he like evil? Is he into Satan and stuff like that? And I think like we need to say something and try and save him. And this friend, like, we were like playing basketball like one night. This is like July. It's really hot. We're playing basketball like 9 o'clock at night, and you know, I'm like 14 years old or something. He tries to have this conversation with me about how if I keep like going into this all this dark shit, I'm gonna go to hell and all this stuff. And I'm sitting like, dude, that's fucking bullshit, dude. Like, who are you to fucking judge me, you know, and shit like that. I don't know, I don't know, stuff like that really pisses me off, that people gotta be so judgmental and weird about anything that's, you know, a little not typical, you know, and, but, you know, I'm dark, I'm always gonna be dark, and people don't like it, well, fuck them, that's all I really say. I love dark stuff, it is who I am, it's who I will always be. Let's see. So, alright. I always like to say the path to hell is paved with good intentions, such as that of your friend trying to talk you out of something you like. Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's just, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that memory still, you know, it's stuck with me all these years. You know, talking about something that happened like 23, 24 years ago. You know, it's that shit kind of sticks with you. How like judgmental and fucking, about anything that's not, you know, mainstream or not something they're used to, you know. Yeah. So I guess we should probably wrap this up. I'm gonna consider this first live stream a great success. A lot of you guys asked some pretty cool questions, and I didn't, you know, stutter too much, I don't think, and I think you were mostly entertained. So. Fucking A, maybe this will be a thing where like I do this every Sunday or something. Because my girlfriend always has band practice on Sundays, and I'm alone for a few hours, and it's, you know, a good time to just kind of drink some beers and talk to people. I love talking to dark camping people. All right, we got some more questions. Gotta go. It's almost 3 a.m. here. Please do another one. I promise I'll ask better questions. Ha 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 ha. All right, we'll see you next time, Kit Traverse. Good stream. Said that I came in a bit late only. Would love to zap in again in the future. For sure. I will definitely be zapping more in the future. And yeah, like I said, maybe this will be a Sunday thing, and I'll just do these every Sunday. I had a lot of fun with this, and I could probably keep going, but like I said, my girlfriend's coming home for practice, and she wants me to help move a couch into a bedroom in our house, so I should probably stop drinking beer and try and sober up, and so I can help her with that. Otherwise, she's gonna be really pissed when I drop the couch and kill us both. So, thank you guys. Thank you for checking this out. I hope you hope it was entertaining. Hope you enjoyed the music. Hopefully you heard it all right. If not, I guess I'll have to go back and listen to the stream, kind of see how it sounded, just to kind of gauge levels and all that kind of shit. So yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for following this channel on YouTube. Thank you for listening to my music. Thank you for just, you know, in general, loving dark ambient music and dark shit and just being yourselves. That's the main thing, you know. And so, see you next time. Alright, my name is Joe. This is the Inner Sanctum. I am the dude in Noctilucant. And yeah, alright, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.